I was working as a barista in Vienna when an American tourist came in, ordered a coffee, and then looked around the cafe like something was missing. He leaned in and asked, completely serious, "So, where are the kangaroos?" I calmly explained that he was in Austria, not Australia. He argued with me for nearly 2 minutes, insisting his travel agent promised kangaroos and that I, a local, was clearly confused about my own country's name. He stormed out, muttering about false advertising. Later, while guiding a tour in Rome, I was standing in front of the Colosseum explaining its history and slow decay over centuries. A man wearing a bright red USA hat interrupted me. "Hold on," he said, "I work construction, and this makes no sense. Why would they build it with all these holes and broken parts? Looks like they quit halfway." He asked if it was a budget problem, adding that in America, stadiums are finished before opening. I spent several minutes explaining earthquakes, erosion, and 2,000 years of history, but he just kept shaking his head, blaming lazy Roman builders. I once waited tables at a small bistro in Provence. An American couple ordered a bottle of our best local rosé. I poured a tasting, and moments later the wife waved me back. "We need ice," she said. I politely explained that in France, we don't put ice in wine because it waters down the flavor. She looked at me like I'd insulted her and replied, "Honey, I'm from Texas. It's hot. I want ice in my wine." "Are you seriously telling me how to drink?" I brought her a glass of ice. She dropped the cubes into a $50 bottle with a sharp clink. At a hotel front desk in Iceland, a guest called down in the middle of the night, furious. "Your website promised northern lights. I've been staring out my window for an hour and I see nothing. Are you going to turn them on, or do I need a refund?" I explained that the aurora is a natural phenomenon, not a switch we control. He sounded genuinely betrayed, like nature itself had scammed him. In a crowded market in Marrakesh, I watched an American woman negotiate for a lantern. The vendor told her the price in dirhams. She pulled out her phone, converted it, and announced loudly, "I'll give you $10. When the vendor politely asked for local currency, she replied, "But the dollar's stronger. You're still making money. Don't you people understand economics?" She truly believed the US dollar should be accepted everywhere. On a train from Florence to Venice, an American family sat across from me. As the train arrived at Santa Lucia, the teenage son stared out the window in panic. "Dad, the whole city is flooded. Is this global warming?" The father calmly replied, "Relax. They'll probably pump it out by tomorrow for the tourists." At a restaurant in southern Spain, an American couple struggled with the menu. The waiter, fluent in English, tried to help. The husband said, "We just want tacos. You know, crunchy shells, ground beef, yellow cheese." The waiter explained that they were in Andalusia, and that was Tex-Mex food. The wife frowned and said, "But this is Spain. Mexicans speak Spanish." It's basically the same thing. While guiding a tour at the Tower of London, we discussed the crown jewels. A woman from California raised her hand and asked, "So does the Queen have to check these out like from a library when she wants to wear them? Or does she come here with a key? Seems really inconvenient." She genuinely imagined the Queen popping over to borrow a necklace. A friend of mine is a flight attendant. On a flight to New Zealand, an American passenger asked if the pilot could avoid flying over the ocean because he was afraid of water. She had to show him a map and explain that New Zealand is an island in the middle of the Pacific. He asked if they could at least fly over the shallow parts. In a bakery in Berlin, an American pointed at a pretzel and asked, "What's that squiggly bread?" The baker handed it to him. The tourist then said, "Can I get one without all the salt? I'm watching my sodium." The baker just stared. His wife added, "And do you have ranch dressing for dipping?" At a hotel in Amsterdam, an American guest complained that his room was tiny and the stairs were dangerously steep. "This would be illegal in the US," he said. "You should tear it down." and build a proper hotel like a Hilton. I explained the building was over 300 years old and protected. He replied, "Sounds like bad planning." On a bus through the Scottish Highlands, the driver pointed out ancient castles and clan lands. A woman shouted from the back, "Where are the Braveheart battlefields? I want to see where Mel Gibson fought." When told the movie was mostly fictional and filmed in Ireland, she sounded offended. Then what's the point of Scotland? In an Irish pub, an American loudly announced, "I'm Irish too." My great-great-grandmother's cousin was from here. He then ordered a black and tan. The pub fell silent. The bartender leaned over and said, "We'll pour you a Guinness and a Bass, in separate glasses." On a safari in Tanzania, an American complained that he hadn't seen animals in the first hour. "Can't you call them?" he asked. "Like a sound or something?" He compared it to the San Diego Zoo. The guide patiently explained that wild animals don't run on a schedule. In a Tokyo subway station, an American was furiously slapping a ticket machine, shouting, "Work, come on!" A teenager calmly walked over, pressed the English button, and left. The man didn't thank him. He muttered, "About time they caught up." In Quebec City, an American guest asked why the Queen was on Canadian money. "I thought this was Canada, not England," he said. Don't they know they're not a colony anymore? At Pompeii, a tourist looked at the plaster casts and said, "It's amazing they all posed for statues before dying. Really dramatic." He thought they were sculptures. In Helsinki, an American asked for regular coffee. When shown drip coffee, he frowned. "No, like a Starbucks Frappuccino." "You have Starbucks, right?" I told him there was one nearby. He sighed. You'd think a capital city would have one on every corner? On a boat in the Galapagos, a biologist explained evolution. An American interrupted, saying, "That's just a theory. We don't believe in that where I'm from. Can you skip the propaganda and show us the funny birds?" In a Paris cheese shop, an American pointed at Roquefort and said, "That cheese is moldy. You shouldn't sell that." The shopkeeper explained that was the point. The tourist replied, "In America, we throw mold away. It's called food safety." In Bangkok, an American yelled at his bank on the phone because his card was declined. "I'm still on Earth," he said. "It's not like I went to space." At the Korean DMZ, an American asked a US soldier, "If we just went over there and told them about freedom and cheeseburgers, wouldn't they give up?" The soldier just said, "Sir, I strongly advise against that." In Lima, a tourist ordered a steak medium rare, then complained it was red. "Can you microwave it until it's brown?" The kitchen staff looked defeated. At the cliffs of Moher, an American asked what time the fog machine turns off. In New Zealand, an American admired sheep and asked, "Are these the wool sheep or the lamb chop sheep?" In Oslo, a man insisted his premium American credit card couldn't be declined. "Your system must be inferior." At the Dead Sea, someone asked if swimming far enough would reach the Mediterranean. When told no, he said, "That's a dumb name. It's not even a real sea." In Manchester, an American complained that a pint was too big. A pint is smaller in America. At a World War I memorial in Belgium, a tourist criticized the uneven ground. "You should level this and plant grass." In Amsterdam, a tourist asked if the red light district was safe while standing in a coffee shop selling marijuana. At Versailles, an American said the Hall of Mirrors was kind of gaudy and preferred the White House. In Iceland, someone asked if a lava rock souvenir was still hot. In Madrid, an American was outraged that restaurants don't serve dinner at 5:30 p.m. On a flight to Germany, an American questioned why the plane flew over Greenland instead of straight. In Seoul, a tourist kept asking vendors if the food was dog. In Australia, an American asked why they don't just pave over the desert to get rid of snakes. In Switzerland, An American credited punctual trains to German influence. The Swiss smile vanished. In Bath, an American said they weren't interested in Roman baths because they didn't want to swim. In New Zealand, a tourist asked where Minas Tirith was, and if they tore it down after filming. In Mexico City, a tourist complained his water was broken because there was no ice. In London, an American scoffed at a pub for not having Bud Light. At the pyramids, a teenager said they should have built them somewhere fun like Las Vegas. On a bus in Japan, an American dumped a pile of yen at the driver and called it monopoly money. In Stockholm, an American complained about prices and dismissed healthcare as socialism. And inside a medieval cathedral in France, an American whispered, "This is beautiful." It reminds me of the church at Disney World. They copied it really well.